Let's try and make tiramisu chaffles again. See if they work out this time. Stick around, we'll get started right after this. Okay, welcome back. I'm Jason, this is just Jason Keto. If you saw my last video, we tried to make tiramisu chaffles and they didn't quite work out the way I'd hoped. I think ultimately we kind of strayed a little too far away from just making chaffles. I got a little too fancy with it. We used too much mascarpone cheese, not enough of the regular chaffle ingredients. Again, we're gonna use some of this salted caramel coffee mix to give it that sweet coffee taste that we're looking for. This week, or today, which is actually just the day after the last video, we're gonna use our regular 2/3 of a cup of mozzarella cheese that's finely shredded. We're gonna use 2 eggs, and then instead of the 3/4 of a cup of mascarpone we used last time, we're just gonna use 2 tablespoons. This will just help give it that creamy texture that we're looking for. And then for the salted caramel coffee mix, this is about half of this package. I don't know yet if we're gonna use the whole thing. We'll add parts of it at a time until we're satisfied with what we have. So let's get set up and we'll start mixing. Okay, so today we're gonna start with 2 whole eggs. Last time when we tried this recipe, we only used 2 egg yolks. Again, I was trying to get too creamy, or trying to get too fancy with that recipe. And again, it was just way away from what we're usually trying to do here. And we wound up with a mixture that was just too much moisture, too much fat from the cheese, and not enough of the other ingredients to bind it together. So that's why it didn't quite turn out. So we've got our 2 eggs mixed up here. We're gonna add in our 2/3 of a cup of mozzarella cheese here. Again, I just use a shredded cheese. You could grate it yourself. I don't get too worried about that, but what I do is actually finely chop it so that it's a nice fine shred kind of thing. I just find it mixes into the batter a bit easier and more complete. So get that mixed in there. It doesn't take very long at all to get that incorporated. And then we're gonna add our mascarpone cheese. Now again, this time we're just using 2 tablespoons. We used 3/4 of a cup last time, and it just wound up being way too much. So the idea here is just to try and break it up into the eggs and cheese. And what happens is this will, once you've got it mixed in properly, it'll turn it into a really sort of creamy mixture that we're looking for. Again, we're looking for a soft chaffle this time. We're not looking for anything crispy, but we do want it to come together and form a chaffle properly. So let's get this mixed up and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so as you can see, that's a nice creamy mixture that we have going on there with the eggs, mozzarella cheese, and mascarpone. So we're gonna start adding in our salted caramel coffee mix here, a little bit at a time. Again, this was about half a package, and I'm gonna add about half of it in first and start mixing that up, see how much, or see how that looks. Again, you can always, as with any recipe, you can always add more, but you can't take it away, so you don't want to get too crazy with it. This salter coffee mix has a great flavor, but it could definitely be fairly overpowering if you add too much. So as you can see, it's already taking on a nice sort of chocolate coffee type color, which is sort of what we're looking for with these. And with the 2 eggs and the added ingredients, we'll probably get at least 3, if not 4 chaffles out of this mixture this week. So let's maybe add a little bit more. We're definitely not going to add the whole thing. So we're probably looking at, I don't know, 3/4 of a tablespoon of this mixture, of the coffee mixture that we've added here. So I think that's looking pretty good. Hopefully these turn out better than the last time. If you watch that video, you know that those chaffles definitely did not come together the way we like them to. So let's heat up the Dash Minis and we'll give these a try. So while the Dash Minis warm up, now that I'm looking at this mix, it is a little bit looser than I'd like it to be. A little bit too much moisture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in, a tablespoon at a time of almond flour. Now again, most people have said you'd be better off using coconut flour, but I don't have any, so almond flour it is. So we're just going to add some in there just to give it a better chance of coming together. So I'll do that while the Dash Minis warm up, and then we'll get cooking. Okay, Dash Minis are preheated here. And I added about 2 tablespoons, or 1.5 tablespoons, 2 tablespoons of almond flour to our mix here, just to bind it up a little bit better, because it was looking very runny, and that can sometimes spell disaster for our chaffles. So it's looking better now. So what we'll do is we'll get the mix loaded up into the waffle irons here, just like so. Consistency is looking pretty good, definitely better than what we had yesterday. Because yes, it was just yesterday that we tried this before and it didn't work at all. So close that one up. Start loading the second Dash Mini up here. Like so. We'll close that up and we'll be back in about 4 minutes, and we'll see how these ones turned out. Okay, chaffles have been cooking for about 4 minutes now, and I can definitely tell that they're working out better than the last ones. After you've done 100+ different chaffle recipes, you get to know, when they're cooking properly and when they aren't. So let's open up the Dash Minis, and as you can see, they actually formed into chaffles this time, and they've got a nice texture to them. We should be able to get these out no problem. So you can see they're nice and golden brown on both sides. They smell really good. Hopefully they taste as good as they smell. So there's a nice close-up of that one. And like I say, they actually came out as chaffles this time instead of the broken mess that we had yesterday. So I'll get the last 2 chaffles here cooking, and then we'll come back and give these a try. Okay, so our Tiramisu Inspired Chaffles. I'm saying inspired because I know it's not tiramisu, but we've got the mascarpone cheese and some coffee in them. So that's why I'm just calling them inspired by. Hopefully they've got a good coffee flavor. As you can see, they're nice and golden brown this time. They actually turned into chaffles this time around. Both sides look really good. So let's open this one up. Got a little bit of a cheese pull there, but it's nice and soft on the inside. And they, like I was saying earlier, they do really smell good. So let's give this a try. Yeah, so the salted caramel coffee mix definitely gives it a good flavor. It's not super strong by any means, but these chaffles are really creamy, which is what I was looking for. They've got a nice, firm texture on the outside, but it's really soft on the inside, which is sort of what we were going for. So I call this one a win. last time we tried to make these, it definitely didn't work out, but we learned something, right? We learned not to get too fancy with the chaffles, because at the end of the day, chaffles are chaffles. We just want to try and enhance the flavors of them. So that's about it for this video. Stay tuned for more recipe videos in the coming weeks, and we go live every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. to try and do something fun with the community. So that's about it for this video. Keep on thriving, my friends.